there is a direct correlation between a feeling of safety and symptoms settling down fast. Someone recently pointed out to me that I often say at the end of the healing videos, now give yourself a reward for doing this recovery work today. And I was asked what kind of reward and why. So I'd like to share that with you, as it's a really, really important part of your healing. Sometimes doing very small things that you may think that's not important can be very important. The way that many people with chronic illnesses became sick is through societal conditioning and past patterns of behavior that are based on pushing and achieving and perfectionism. And not everybody has exactly these traits or all of these traits. So you may not be exactly the personality type that's referred to in the mind-body literature. However, if you have symptoms, then it will be good to consider how to create safety for your nervous system. As you may know, the reason that you need to soothe the system is to help ease yourself out of fight or flight. You may have very high heart rate, you may feel too tired and wired to go to sleep at night. If you have chronic fatigue syndrome or ME, myalgic encephalitis, you may feel tired and wired a lot of the time. Quite often there is a layer of freeze over the top also. So we want to bring you very gently out of fight, flight or freeze in small increments. So 30 seconds to 60 seconds of doing something very soothing is a very good way to start to create safety for your system in a way that it can tolerate. The more you soothe your nervous system, the less symptoms you will have. No matter what phase of your healing you are in, even if you are really nearly recovered and you have made loads of progress and you've been doing brain rewiring and you know all the techniques for somatic healing and you know how to settle your nervous system, it's not a bad thing to add more soothing for your autonomic nervous system. Whatever healing activity you do, let's say you do 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes of that activity. And if you're severe, for example, if you're bedbound, don't do that long. Do 2 minutes of a healing activity. At the end of that period of time, you need to give yourself a reward like watching a very small amount of comedy. Now, if you can't look at screens, you can listen to some comedy. If you are someone who does not enjoy comedy or you haven't seen anything funny in a very long time, nothing tickles your fancy, that's not going to feel like a reward to you. These are personal. These need to feel like you feel good about the thing that you're giving to yourself. A reward that I love personally is to have a cup of tea. So that's going to depend on the temperature of the place that you're in and if tea is something that you find very soothing or not. To have a warm drink after doing a healing activity is actually very grounding. It's grounding in a lot of ways. Usually if you have a cup, any kind of normal cup, it's made out of clay, ceramics, and that's earth and water that has been put in fire. So very much you will be holding something made of natural elements that help you ground through your hands. So the next reward might seem obvious, but it's actually a blanket. Now, it might not sound like a reward, but I want to ask you to consider this question. Do you have a very soft blanket that is quite new? Because if you do not, perhaps you might consider buying one for yourself. You can get one on Amazon, depending on where you are. I'm thinking maybe $15 or £15. Something that when you're touching it and holding it and you're wrapping yourself in it feels really wonderful. So that would be an investment. So I would do something like wrap myself in a blanket or stroke it if it's next to me and put some comedy on. It might be always the same show. It doesn't have to be that as your reward you would go hunting on social media for comedy clips. I would not recommend that as a reward. I would say that will put you back into search mode, which is very fight or flight, looking, seeking, hunting. That's too active. So whatever reward you're going to choose, have it prepared before you do the healing activity. You give a short, boundaried reward. 3 to 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. You're going to decide depending on your window of tolerance right now. Another reward would be to arrange to have something very nice done for you. For example, to have a loved one who is safe gently stroke your hair for a few minutes, gently stroke your face. They might read to you a little bit from a very soft book. A soft book would be not an exciting mystery or thriller. They're exciting. They're going to make your heart rate go up, back into fight or flight. We don't want that. We want soft. It might almost be a children's book or something very gentle. Another reward that I favour, that I would recommend for you, is to listen to music if you can, if you're able to tolerate music. I have a very lovely soothing music playlist, which I will link to below this video. You also can come up with rewards for yourself. For some people it might be soup. Oh, I love to have a cup of soup or my lunch, or it might be, but my feeling is those things, maybe you were going to do them anyway. So it would be nice if a reward is something that's a little bit extra, a little bit of an extra nice thing that you perhaps wouldn't have done. You maybe would think, oh, we don't need encouraging because we desperately want to get better. We want to get to recovery. But I have not found that to be so. Not for myself and not for the people that I'm working with. I need encouragement to do things that are hard. And I need to give myself that encouragement and make it easier for me to go forward. So all healing work, meditations, somatic practices, brain rewiring exercises are difficult. And they're especially difficult when you have symptoms. People who are not chronically ill cannot imagine how hard this is. So a bonus reward, and it's not really a reward, it's more of something soothing for your nervous system that I always recommend to people and which helps a lot of people. It is a teddy bear. Yes, a bog standard teddy bear. Well, this one is from Dunnes stores, which if you live in Ireland, there's Dunnes stores, and they are in some countries in Europe. But I would recommend the type that you can get in IKEA, that, you know, they're like £8, $8 or $10, that kind of thing. Or get something on Amazon if you can't get out of the house at the moment. You want something super soft and sweet to cuddle, basically. It's going to help you. You want a teddy in your bed or a soft toy. Now, notice what your brain is saying about that right now. Share in the comments, please. Is your brain saying that's childish or that's silly, or how is that going to help with my recovery? I am really sick, or maybe this Amari doesn't realize what I'm going through. I'm in pain, I can't walk, or, you know, it's terrible. The whole body system is not functioning like it's meant to, and it's very scary. But I want you to understand that as soon as we can create safety for your nervous system, that is a lot of the work, that is the whole of the first phase of my recovery plan for you, is about safety, is about soothing. A lot of other people in the mind-body recovery space are entirely working on the notion of getting you to safety. And you don't have to feel safe all the time. If there's a bang from the kitchen because someone drops a saucepan and you jump, that's okay. That is a natural response. That is not making you ill. Having moments where you go, oh, I'm scared, that's okay. But we need to teach your system again, or retrain your system, help your system remember how to come out of fight or flight, how to move into ease and soothing. So yeah, guess what? Really, $10 and £10 interventions like a blanket and a teddy are going to make a huge difference. I do not suggest a teddy bear on its own will take you all the way to recovery. There are going to be next steps. There are going to be the things I want you to do after that also. Most people that I work with, so I'm guessing this might be you too, don't want to do the teddy bear thing, and they skip it and they want to go on to the next phase, and they want to go into all the hard things, and they're like, okay, I want to do the journaling and the brain rewiring, and I want to do the this, and I'm going to change everything, and I want to increase my steps, and I want to go big, and I want to make my life expand, and I want to go forward, and I'm in a hurry and it's urgent. That's the opposite of creating safety. Urgency and push is what brought us to this condition. And it's very difficult to come out of that. You don't have to drop it completely. It's natural that you want to get better. But I just want you to notice your sense of urgency. And if you can do these soothing interventions between things, it is going to change things very quickly. Okay? So you're going to get a big result from doing small things. If you do a reward once a day, you're going to see a change within a week or two. If you do a reward twice a day, you're going to see a bigger change in that week or two. And I mean a reduction in symptoms. So think about what nourishes you, what will feel like a reward, what feels good to your nervous system. I want to add one thing that I don't recommend as a reward, and that would be goodies. Now, I don't know if you call them goodies. Goodies are all the things that I crave to eat, like chocolate biscuits and crisps and sweets and cakes. I want you to think about how you feel after. If you have a food treat that isn't good for you, do you feel great after you've eaten it? So you might find a piece of fruit is a lovely reward that you enjoy, that makes you feel good, you feel nourished, you enjoy it. It's a very good reward for you. You have to work out what feels good to you. Or you may not be eating fruit, depending on what your diet is at the moment. But you can have something that's a food item as long as you go, oh yeah, but I feel really good about it and it's soothing. So you need to tune in to what's really happening inside you in order to work out what's actually a reward. A reward is also not something that isn't nice, like, a cracker, dry cracker or something. That's not a reward. You might think, oh, but that's healthy, so that's good. I'll have a food thing and it'll be a dry cracker. But no, if it's got to be really nice, whatever the reward is has to feel really nice to you. So take good care of yourself, and I'll see you again soon.